Lian is a very interesting unit. You get her for free. She's your first and only real SSR that you're guaranteed in this game besides the one that you decide to use your selector on. She is a fire DPS, and there's not many fire DPSs. If we jump into the reds, you're going to see here that the only other one is Chloros. I get a lot of people asking me, should you reset your Lian eventually? Now, I've actually reset my Lian because I'm going with Chloros, and that's because I'm going for a very specific combination with the Ting. Today, we're going to answer the question, should you reset your Lian? Because not everyone's situation is the same. Let's get into it. So first, why are we wanting to even build Lian in the first place? Well, she actually has a really powerful combination here with her S3. It has a nice 300 damage multiplier, and it's an AoE. You don't really have any other AoE option when it comes to red, even in the SRs for like some weird builds. So you're pretty much giving up your only access to a red AoE DPS. This is very helpful, mostly in different stages. For example, the green hollow GP outpost stage, this becomes much harder and just slower to clear if you choose to reset your Lian. So what are the situations where you should reset your Lian? Well, the first situation is Chloros. So Chloros is someone I think is really powerful. He's being used currently on Termaton to clear a lot of content, specifically with Ting. I already made a video about Ting. Make sure to check that out if you want. Chloros is just really powerful. He's a single target, massive red DPS. He also got buffed to a 480% multiplier going into the live, though this kind of ends up evening out considering the fact that you have to remember that they buffed all the hell stages and definitely Termaton, but he does require a very high amount of investment. You do really want to max him out. You can get away with just the S3 at 4. It does mean that your gear requirement is much higher. For example, look at my Chloros' gear. It is very good. And I even have to overcap on crit rate right now just because it's just straight up better for me to overcap on crit rate rather than go for like an attack percentage just because I won't have enough crit rate to make it consistent. The only other situation where I would actually recommend that you are going to reset your Lian is if you are going to go the route as Grandy. Now, Grandy is the only one who's been able to clear past Apati. It's apparently extremely difficult and almost impossible without very specific units. And even people getting into this spot are also still getting stuck. So just keep that in mind. But if you hyper invest into just a Messiah and Lily, then you're good. Now, what's the difference between Grandy's Messiah and yours? Answer is he has max dupes on his, and he also has a really good, very fast Lily to cycle and make sure that this comp works. And he's 6-starring his supports to make them tanky enough to survive. You're probably not going to have that, so I still wouldn't even recommend that if that's the case. But if you do have a really cracked Messiah, then you can definitely debate using him because he is a light and dark, which means just like the Ting, you can use him anywhere, and because he's AoE, he is useful literally everywhere. He also has a built-in defense ignore, which is really powerful. If you combine this with harvest set, which if you have the 8-piece harvest set here, you will get an extra 30% defense ignore, meaning that this will be true damage. So you don't even have to bring a defense breaker, which is why someone like Randy is able to get away with just bringing 3 sustainers on top of that. So what happens if Lian is not able to be reset? Well, it's okay. There's still plenty of compositions that you can use, and she's still a really good character. She only really needs this S5 maxed out, and to be honest, you definitely should max out her S3 to level 5 due to the fact that it is just really good. Now, this turn meter steal effect, one thing that I want people to keep in mind is the fact that Termaton, it says right here that it's going to reduce all turn meter minus effects, but this is only very specifically ones that say turn meter minus. So this only really affects characters like Marvel, who has a turn meter reduction specifically said in their kit. If it says steal, it doesn't count. So this doesn't affect units like, for example, Dinah, who has in her S1 the ability where she can steal turn meter. Pretty much it has to be indicated on there that it is a turn meter minus, like this one. These are the effects that are still going to be reduced by that mechanic, but still turn meter like his S1 would still work. So those are the ones that are getting affected here. So overall, what's my opinion? Should you reset your Lian? My answer is no, you should probably not reset your Lian. She's just probably not there unless you very specifically have a Chloros, because otherwise you are likely not in the right position to reset her. She's still a really good unit, but if you decide to ignore that advice regardless and reset her, when should you? Well, you should actually wait because the time that you have for the reset event is 1, you have 5 of them, so you can use them pretty frugally up to that point. But you also have 7 days after your account's creation before it runs out. So all you can do is just go right into here, it says remaining 1, and this means that if you started on the day of global launch, you could decide that tomorrow. You don't have to decide it today, you can decide it probably the time that this video is coming out. So that's why I'm posting it. So yeah, just a quick little TLDR, don't reset your Lian unless you very specifically have Chloros, and if you're going to go Chloros route, you're definitely going to need to make sure that you have Ting, otherwise it's probably not going to work out for you. So that's all. Don't set your Lian unless you're me or very specifically Grandy. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.